Alright, back again, Luke here. And today what I thought we could do is take a look at another arcade PCB that I just wound up getting running here. In this video, I won't be showing any sort of actual on-screen repair work or any soldering like that. This is just a video to show you guys what the board looked like before, maybe show you some pictures of where it was broken and what I did to repair it, and give you a little insight on the board itself. For this board, this is a Konami Dark Adventure, also known as Devil World arcade PCB. Nowadays, not exactly the most common board, but when I picked it up, I wound up getting it in, and the first thing I noticed is the board was completely covered in corrosion. It looked like it was kind of stored outside or in a damp place, and a lot of the areas, especially around this area here, were quite corroded. I'll try and show you guys some pictures here so you can get a look at what it looked like. But the first part here, let me see, give you a picture. This is the original custom that's used for video. With these customs, Konami is really, I don't know what they've used for the covering on it, but it's kind of like a plastic material, and they've coated all of the chips in it. So when this goes out, you're pretty much out of luck. Luckily, there's a couple of people who have online, they've done some reproductions, and they've been able to find a way to make this chip here so you don't actually have to worry about this one going bad. You can pick up a reproduction, and that's what I did here. This one is made by Caius Repros, and you can see right there probably Caius Arcade. Fantastic guy, really knows his stuff, and he makes a lot of these Konami sound chips, reproduction parts, and I wound up picking up one of these from him. The reason why is when I first turned on the board, I didn't get anything. It did come up for a split second, and then it started flashing and then turning off again. I don't know if you guys will be able to see very well here, but in the picture, all of these pins on the bottom part here were all corroded. Especially around this Fujitsu chip as well. You can see these vias here, they're all green, and that's where the corrosion had gotten down through the via and eaten away the traces. Now, after doing some extensive repair there and actually removing this whole side, I wound up removing this whole connector here, doing a lot of repairs, I was able to fix most of them. I've kind of went through the bottom and tried to repair on the bottom, that way it doesn't look so bad on the top here. But a lot of traces. I'll see once again if I can find you guys some pictures. This is the video chip here. Without this chip, the system will usually run in a loop. It'll come up with errors. You'll have all sorts of trouble. So luckily with these repros, they work fantastic. Just kind of desolder the old one, put in a couple of sockets, and you are ready to go. But these are all the Fujitsu chips that were on the end here. I've managed to replace a few of them on the top part here with different ones that weren't Fujitsu. And the biggest problem with the Fujitsu chips is they do have a tendency to fail really quickly. Over time, you'll find that a lot of the Konami boards are basically not working due to these Fujitsu chips. And as we go along here, you can see there's more here. Let me see if I can find some. Okay, here's some of the trace repair that I did the first time around. And I went through the top of the board just to see if I could get it to turn on. And I was able to get it to turn on, but I thought that it looked a little bit, too much here. So I decided to go through the bottom instead and reroute the traces. So it looks a little bit neater on the top. But as you can see here, this whole connector was removed. Lots of traces. These vias are extremely difficult to repair. On the bottom here, once again, there were a lot of traces that were just completely eaten away, and then trying to reconnect them using different patterns, different methods. Someone had already worked on this board before I had, so I was also a little bit leery about that as well. But luckily, in the end, after getting this custom put back on, the board was able to fire up. Now you can notice something right away, and that is there's some lines in the graphics. Now, it didn't last very long before the board actually started coming up with errors again. The top board here, this is mostly the system, and since it is a dual layer board, the bottom board is the graphics. Now, really hard thing to do with two-layer boards is to troubleshoot them, because you never know what's the problem, especially with this connector here. There were so many corroded points. It could have been a problem with the connection on the top, or it could have been a problem on the bottom, or it could be both. Well, in this case, it was actually a bit of both. So I had to replace a few of these chips up top. I had to remove the connector, replace a lot of traces just to get it to boot. But then after that, chips started failing left and right. Another picture here you can see is more lines through the graphics, more lines through the graphics, and more lines. Sometimes when you would go through a certain stage or you go to a certain point, you would be able to see the system reset itself. It just got to a point where it decided to reset itself. So I went ahead and I did something that was a bit crazy. Not like I usually don't do crazy things, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the bottom part of this board here. And this is the bottom board, or the bottom PCB. One thing that this board had was all Fujitsu chips on the bottom. And what started happening at the beginning is a lot of these LS157s, 74 LS157s, were going bad, and they were right underneath the connector where I replaced the connector there. They were also corroded. So when they started going bad, the system would sit in a boot and a boot loop and continually keep resetting. Replace those, then I wound up getting a RAM error up at the top. Replace those RAMs. Came over here, these RAMs were failing. I just got to a point where I thought, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all of those old Fujitsu chips off this board and put in some different ones, like some ST or Texas Instruments ones, and that's what I did. I went through the whole board and basically replaced every single one of those Fujitsu chips with a different one, Motorola ones, etc., and just to get the system running. Now, once I got the system running again, those lines were still back there, and I couldn't figure out what in the heck was going on with it. Looking at a couple of these customs over here, I could find that there were 2 pins in the top, and those were routed to a couple of these customs over here, as well as this one in the back. These are all responsible for sprite generation. So when I removed a couple of the connecting chips to it, I found that the sprites would disappear or reappear, which was fine, but even replacing that specific IC, it didn't seem to fix anything. So lo and behold, to make a long story short, I found the problem, and the problem was this ZIF RAM. This is also made by Fujitsu, but unfortunately, I just had to replace it. There is a lot of this ZIF RAM over here, and one thing that I found with this one is, I don't know if I can find exactly what I did with it. Oh, here it is. This is the one. You can notice that it has some faint discoloration in the middle here, and I was able to tell that that wasn't right. Looking at the other ones, even if we kind of bend it just a little bit back, you can probably make out some of the lettering there, but this one here was a bit smoky looking in the end, so I figured, okay, let's go ahead and give it a shot, see if we can replace that and fix it up. Sure enough, with that last one there, that's what fixed the graphics on it. So now this board is completely working, but it had so many problems with it, and like I said, it's taken probably over 4 months to get the parts in, the actual parts that I needed, and then going ahead and replacing the parts to finish the job off. It's just been a long process for this one, but what I figured we could do today is I'm gonna plug this thing in here, take a look at it, and make sure that it's still working. I just literally finished this today, so let's go ahead and plug on our JAMA connector. And the board was extremely flexible, so I tried to put in a little bit more support on the inside here. Probably one more post would be a good one on this side. It does have one on that side, but in the middle I also put some foam, and the foam is anti-static foam, so it won't cause any trouble, but at least it'll keep the middle part here from sagging or bowing in the middle. But let's go ahead and flip this thing on here and see what we got. Well, this is actually normal here. You'll see this pop up on the side. At least on this board. I hope it's normal. But you'll see that it'll come up everything good here. If there's a problem, it'll show up a different lettering system there, and it'll reboot or reset. But as you can see, try and get this thing to stop lens flaring, but it is back up and working here. Probably leave the volume there for right now. And here you can see, so all of the graphics are back. It's a really interesting game. A lot of people, you know, talk about the dislike for the game and really not interested in it by any means because it doesn't have the music to it. It gets a little bit repetitive or redundant. I mean, there's different reasons why people dislike the game, but it is a 3-player game. Kind of fits the kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, a little bit like a gauntlet style. But we've got this thing all working again here. And once again, just to show you guys some of these pictures before, what it was doing or what it wasn't doing. You saw the pictures beforehand, but let's see here. Yeah, like these lines here in the middle. So let's go ahead and put in a couple coins and you guys can see what it looks like now. I'll start this up. Now you can see all those vertical lines are gone. It's going to be difficult here to play with one hand, but throughout the game you have to find the different keys that'll unlock the way to the next area by destroying these regenerators as well, which kind of gives it that gauntlet feel. There is some music that happens when you come near one of these tree areas, one of the areas where the swamp monster is. Here you go. You'll start up, then I'll start the music. You can see part of the body part is kind of falling off. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I should eventually get a real video out here on this game now that it's working. Just kind of taking a little bit of a look at it. Let's see. The other part is like you can easily get knocked off the edge here. There's some dynamite around here. I think around this area there's another one of those swamp monsters. There's the key. There are different places that you can go in the game, like different secrets. You have to be careful about which way you decide to go. I think I'm actually hitting him. Nope, maybe not. There we go. Eventually, maybe I can get the key to the next area. Maybe I have to go around. As you can see, the board is working again. Finally, another board here. Saved from the grave, and this one did take a lot of time to get working. I spent really, I mean, short bursts here trying to fix it, you know, over 4 months, a couple hours here and there, trying to get things going. But yeah, overall it is a lot of time, especially the waiting for parts. That was the longest point here. But it is a very interesting game, I think. Those people who like it, and those who don't. But I don't think I have a key yet, so let's see if we can run across it. Whee! But yeah, nonetheless here, just wanted to share with you guys a little bit of a look at Dark Adventure, the arcade PCB. Another one here that's back up and running, and hopefully be able to keep this one preserved for a little bit longer. But that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. I suppose I should watch out, because you can fall off the edge there. Even when the board was not working perfectly, you could, that was trying it out a little bit, falling off the edge. It was like, no, why? And these guys will literally push you off the edge. But yeah, I don't know if I said it or not, but that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Or thanks for listening to the same phrase twice, if I did say it already. It's a concentration on the game, I suppose. But anyway, take care and catch you again here next time. Woo! Run! Run, run, run. I don't know if I got the key yet either. Probably not. Oh. I think that's probably 3. KBA. There we have it.